Speaking of Hillary Clinton, 3 nights ago she was back on the debate stage in New Hampshire. And this is what she said about the current fight against ISIS.
We now finally are where we need to be. We have a strategy and a commitment to go after ISIS, which is a danger to us as well as the region. And we finally have a UN Security Council resolution bringing the world together to go after a political transition in Syria.
The key phrase is where we need to be. So what changed in the battle against ISIS?
Well, first of all, we're nowhere near where we need to be. She does not have a strategy. She does not understand the nature of the threat. And once again, I guess she is prepared to outsource our foreign policy to the United Nations. Look, Hillary Clinton has been wrong about every single foreign policy challenge. She called Bashar al-Assad a positive reformer and opened up an embassy. She lied to the American people about a purposeful terrorist attack in Libya, and now ISIS is in Libya. She cheered when we precipitously withdrew every troop in Iraq, thereby leaving territory for ISIS to conquer. She's been wrong on every foreign policy challenge. She's wrong about ISIS. She has no plan to defeat ISIS, and we're nowhere near where we need to be.
What is your plan, then? President Fiorina would do what in this battle?
Well, we have to think of two things. One, we have to keep Americans safe here at home. Two, we have to deny ISIS territory abroad. So to keep Americans safe here at home, we have to redo from top to bottom our visa system. We have to, as I mentioned on the debate stage, engage the private sector now in a very aggressive way, because the terrorists have on with the technology sector, 4 and 5 generations of technology. While Rubio and Cruz are arguing about the Patriot Act, which was written 14 years ago, technology's moved on. Abroad, I would bring back the warrior class, the great general warriors of our generation. I would stand up an alliance of Arab allies who are prepared to fight with us, but not unless they see leadership and support and resolve. And they have been asking us for very specific kinds of support. I know most of them, whether it's bombs, materiel, arms, intelligence. This administration has not provided any of it. But let us start with the most fundamental thing of all. We need to understand the nature of the threat. When Hillary Clinton talks about gun control and climate change in the wake of San Bernardino, it is both delusional and dangerous. It is why she must be defeated, and I will defeat her.
Well, you talked about technology. Recently you called for what sounded like a simple telephone conversation to leaders in Silicon Valley, get Apple, Google, and Facebook on the phone in a conversation. Tim Cook was asked about this on 60 Minutes 2 nights ago. This is what he said about the challenge with encryption. Watch.
In the case of encrypted communication, we don't have it to give. And so if, like your iMessages are encrypted, we don't have access to those.
Okay, but help me understand how you get to the government's dilemma.
I don't believe that the trade-off here is privacy versus national security.
And what he's making the case that Washington doesn't understand what the challenges are within technology. And you ran Hewlett-Packard.
Exactly.
And what he said was that if you go after the encryption, it would weaken security for millions of innocent Americans. How would you respond to that charge?
He's right. He's right. That's why you need a president in the Oval Office who actually understands technology. Encryption helps millions of Americans keep their credit records safe, for example. But let me give you a very clear example of what I know is a problem. You know, all this metadata that we have been collecting as a result of the Patriot Act, we've also clearly missed the Tsarnaev brothers, we missed the San Bernardino couple. What does that mean? It means that we're using, among other things, the wrong algorithms to search through that metadata. There are companies out there who have been creating algorithms to discern patterns, and that's what we're missing. So set encryption aside. Technology has moved on 4 and 5 generations since the Patriot Act. Bureaucracies have not moved, but the terrorists have. And so we must engage the private sector now in this war, just as the private sector was engaged during World War II. The government went to the private sector in World War II and said, help us do things that we, the government, cannot do. Just as the NSA came to me after 9/11 and said, help us do things we cannot do.
Thank you for your time today. We're going to continue this discussion. It's going to go for quite a time, as you know. In the meantime, my best to you and your family, and a Merry Christmas to you as well, okay? Live in South Carolina.
Thank you, Bill.
You bet.
My best to you and yours as well.
Thank you. Carly Fiorina, live with us today.